I was just sending you a text, and now it's like a paragraph long. So I was just talking.
Yeah, I
No,
came on
it's funny.
recording it.
I'm watching this fight, and I'm like, like this is a great main event, and I'm like, not that these fights were like main events stuff like this. I mean, not that these were pay per views like cards like this, but I remember when Spike TV would have these every once in a while, and it would be like a numbered UFC and everything like that. I really appreciate that the UFC puts on cards everywhere. Actually, is the next one in Miami? Is the next one
Yep,
in Miami?
up
Yeah,
287 after the bye.
yeah, the bye UFC bye week.
Yeah. Well, we got so spoiled, man. I mean, we have them every weekend that
Yeah.
it feels like a bye week, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that horrible holiday break where we have to go 4 weeks, which is
Mm.
unbearable.
Actually,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun during that time making my fight breakdowns that were announced. I think the UFC was really smart about that. I'm actually surprised that Bellator kind of capitalized during that time. Well, and
PFL,
PFL really couldn't the way they're set up.
well, they did their pay-per-view the first week of that, I think.
Yes. Uh yeah, the holidays, so it was like a few days after.
Yeah.
Or no, yeah, no, it was a week after. It was a week after.
Yeah. And I never heard how the numbers were on that. I was a little curious to
It,
see.
it wasn't really, it wasn't very strong from what I saw.
Well,
I remember Chris Cyborg. She tweeted something about that, and then how it wasn't strong, and it was led by Kayla. And I remember thinking how stupid that was because, like you're trying to book this super fight, and here you are trying to throw shade, saying that your potential opponent doesn't draw.
right. No, that's true.
Yeah,
Well, I actually I'm disappointed because some of my favorite events have been some of the big holidays, and now they don't do Memorial Day anymore. At least
yeah.
this the 4th of July. The
Mhm,
Thanksgiving week doesn't have an event. So
mhm.
all the ones like there were some really great moments. I was at the all heavyweight Memorial Day card. I think maybe 2013 or something like that.
Yeah, it was on the Sunday before Memorial Day, right?
No, it's still Saturday. It was Saturday.
Okay, okay, okay.
It was awesome. I mean, that was the one with like Bigfoot Silva getting his face smashed in by
Yeah,
Kane and
I
like
I used to love on the holidays when they would have that Friday night card.
yeah,
It would be a Friday because the holidays. It's like every day is or whatever. But
right.
I used to love when they did that. Um, and it's funny you say that like because like you see like how they were for whatever reason the fantasy baseball league that I'm in three 3 years in a row we always just had it on a Saturday where the UFC was in UK and then for the longest time in March we would always book our fantasy baseball our book we would always plan our fantasy baseball draft like as tradition whenever the UFC was in the UK.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you excited for this one? And I don't think I saw your breakdown of what did you predict before this one?
Oh, this fight coming up or the main event? Oh, this
The
fight coming up,
Lutz-
man. I think that I think that Pineda needs to. He throws pretty wild bombs, and he throws some power behind him. I think that he needs though. He can't just throw those wild bombs and stand there because he stays off balance. He gets off balance when he does it. So, and that's where Lutz or Lutz, I still don't know his name. That's where he's really good at scoring. Is if he could score a straight punch when Pineda's off balance, not even that it's going to be so not even that it's going to be so powerful because he's off balance. It's going to quote damage as we discussed to the judges because the guy's going to be rocked. So what I would do if I'm Pineda is after those wild bombs, don't get too greedy and keep throwing them. If you see you're not really damaging them with those wild bombs after like the second or third exchange, turn into a takedown because then Lutz is going to be up like this. Now, if I'm Lutz, I would just keep it real textbook 1-2 and move offside. Have the loopy puncher, have him at the end of my punches because Lutz has kind of a range, and just don't stand in front of him where he can return fire. Um, I know, like Lutz, I'm kind of not. I'm kind of. I'm giving an unfair assessment to. He fought Pat Sabatini, which is a tough matchup for somebody like that. But this fight is, for lack of a better word, Pineda is kind of a poor man's Pat Sabatini in that aspect. But I'm really gonna be interested to see if anybody jabs in this fight. I didn't see really any jabs from either of them in their last two fights.
Well, Sabatini was so smothering in that. I actually
Yeah,
had Lutz. I thought he had enough takedown. His takedown defense like held up a lot of it, but it was
yeah.
just endless pressure from
Mhm.
Sabatini, and man, that was a lot to ask, I guess.
Yeah.
So
No, sometimes it be like that.
I
But,
mean,
but
that's
that's the other thing is if I'm Pineda, I'm using that as a blueprint, like, all right, if I could at least do half of that smothering that Pat Sabatini did.
yeah. You think that he changes his style up that much? I mean, he's been around a long time. Like,
No.
he,
No, that's why I'm thinking, like, I don't even think he would jab here,
he's looking to get you out of there.
yeah.
Should be a good one. I'm surprised there's so much lead in after all that time and the break that they had. I thought this
That
would have
was like a half hour. I'm standing here like this, and I hate doing the dead time like this, especially with the lives. Because I mean, if I was watching that, I'm not going to watch the rest of it. Like, who? I don't. What does this guy want us to look at him? What is this? The Truman Show?
totally. You don't have audio when you watch these, then, huh? Mhm.
Oh, with the actual fight?
Yeah, you don't listen to commentary.
No,
You
not.
have
I
to-
mean, I have it on really light, really low right now, just because I left the remote control over there. But usually I don't. Nothing against the. I know that everyone critiques the announcers. I used to critique it, and I'm like, it's. I actually find the announcers really like. I think Felder's an outstanding announcer. Actually, I know Michael Bisping gets his crap. I think he's a really good announcer too. I'm actually more of a fan of Bisping than like towards the end of his career than I was like in the middle of it and now.
Yeah, I think there's always some feeling of bias, and you probably feel it more when you're
Yeah,
on
of
one
course.
side yourself, and it's not your guy
Yeah.
that they're touting. But
The first time I ever saw it was when Dan Hardy was who was he calling for? I forgot. Dan Hardy was saying stuff like, "Oh, blah 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 is worrying me now," as opposed to the other guy did something good. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
right.
call the fight.
Yeah. Well, it's tough when I think when I see guys with their not just friends, but like true training partners and things, they do get defensive of actions. I saw DC do that a little bit before.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, it's hard to separate it.
Well,
I get that.
I tell you, man. I thought I'd be like okay with it. As I got older, I got worse with it because I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah,
Um, I'm just, I mean, I've never done one of these with any of my buddies before, but I could see myself being like, "Oh, come on, Dustin," like like something like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Try to talk the fighter into what you want him to
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah. All right, we're getting up here. No. Who did you
here we
take in
go.
this?
I took Pineda in this one.
Did you really? Oh man,
Yeah,
that doesn't make me feel good. But
I just I went by who's gonna capitalize more on mistakes. I didn't really. It's a pick 'em fight for sure. I didn't. I like I wouldn't be surprised. I stayed away, so to speak. But if I had to pick, I would go with Pineda.
yeah. Well, and even if you were,
Hmm.
in it, if you think it's a pick 'em, the
Yeah.
odds are very heavy in favor of Lutz. So,
Well, the thing is, like, I felt like because Lutz is just sometimes he just like stands there and like which all right now going back on what I said completely 180. When you stand there, the way he stands with his stance is somewhat upright. You could it's very sexy to go for a takedown. That being said, Pineda, he does the bombs, and like what I want to see him do is bombs to wrestling. But his issue is he goes bombs, stop, then wrestling. So if he can't connect that, if he can't transition, it's going to be a long night. He's going to get scored on, which is why I think if Lutz just keeps it textbook, he's going to win this fight just outpointing him. But I'll tell you what, if you live line watchers or betters are watching right now, you're going to be able to tell after the first round who's going to win this fight. I'll be willing to eat some crow.
we're gonna hold you to that,
Yeah.
especially since you lost your banana bet.
Oh, well, I didn't lose it.
It
It got
fell out
taken
at me.
away.
Disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it got taken away. They took it away from us. So, L owes me one because I won the last one.
you get baseball ads right now?
Sorry?
Are you getting baseball ads right now?
No, I'm not. Actually, I was just going to ask you what you're doing. I got some guy doing a spin class right now.
I see the same ad. The worst thing about watching streaming shows versus traditional TV is that you see the same ad 250 times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so annoying.
And none of the commercials are good, to be honest with you.
Right.
They're not fun.
Yeah. Well, at least we got a pretty good prelims. I
Yeah.
pretty good action. I didn't do so well myself on it, but went 1-3. But just
Actually, were you on when I was going over my DraftKings?
just the tail end. I said, yeah, you got the full main event in there.
Yeah.
What yeah.
I have the full main event because everything got dropped off. So I doubled up in the main event, hoping that a lot of points are going to be scored with the bonus round, so to speak.
Right.
And then I went Holly Holm. I went really heavy, and then I went like my one quote unquote safe fight. I don't even remember who it was now. Only scored 50 points. So, but yeah, it was tough.
Was that the Parsons?
Yes,
Yeah.
Parsons scored 50.
Yeah. What a war, man. You think he broke his
Yeah,
orbital on that?
I didn't get a good look.
Ooh,
I
that
didn't
eye
get a
was
good look.
so bad at the end. So bad.
When I broke mine, I didn't swell like crazy. Like I didn't get the hematoma, but you could tell under here was like red. It was. Um, I remember every time. I remember I shot in on the guy, and he kind of defended, and then I remember I touched his like chest bone. I went, oh, like everything hurt.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
surprise.
See, look at this 3 inch. Lutz has the 3 inch reach advantage, so he's gonna have to use that. 9 year edge.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
so
gonna
sensitive to when they call these ages now because I'm older.
yeah. You're still the baby, Quinn. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, thank you.
You get these grays, then you can start talking.
I mean, they're in there. They're in there. Although usually I get pretty good compliments how thick and black my beard gets.
Yeah, I saw some stats. Like there's some crazy stats about age in MMA. I mean, Ocho retired,
Hmm.
32. Said it's a
Well, it
young
also depends the
game.
weight class too, because you could see the guys at heavyweight. It seems to save your body.
Yeah, no,
Cutting
definitely.
weight does take years off your career, especially if you do it wrong. Then you
Oh,
got people like Gleason Tebow though, who's still fighting.
Bailey Cowan doing 3 camps in 10 weeks or something because of these
Yeah.
cancellations.
Hmm.
That's rough.
Yeah, you know what you start doing there? I mean, that happened to me once, where a fight got pushed back a month. On you're already in shape, so on your like maybe days, you could like cut a session in half and stuff like that. You know, little more, less is more in those situations. Obviously, you can't just fall asleep, but they space it out. Like look how Bellator used to be with the tournaments, similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's kind of the opposite of age. I think the bigger you are, the worse it is for you.
Yeah, no, that would suck. Well, I mean, look at Holly Holm too, and she just said she's hoping for another title run. All right, here we go. We're underway,
Let's go.
or about to be.
Yeah, she signed 6 more fights.
Yeah.
She and
Wow.
John Jones will be fighting way out.
Wow. Yeah. All right, here we go. Both guys take the center. Little feints there. Pineda keeping the center. That's actually pretty good at Lutz to open up with those calf kicks because that'll take a little off everything. Oh, there we go, throwing already. Right to the underhook to a trip. Way to pop up. That's a lot already an improvement for what we've seen in his last fight by Lutz. Pummeling inside, keeping his hips out.
And Pineda's first leg kick looked like it really hurt.
Yeah. You see, Pineda kind of gambled there where he threw a knee where he didn't have control with the underhook, and that's where he got spun around. You really do have to pummel there and hand fight before you start doing that stuff. Both guys fighting for head position. Pineda, he lost it after the knee again because he's not securing that underhook on that side. See, Lutz is smart here, keeping the shorter fighter extended. It's going to be harder for him to hand fight. Pineda scoring with those little slaps, but ultimately he's losing this situation, so to speak, because he's still it's no damage, you know. Well, nothing happened after that. There's another kick. And we saw a jab. All right. Like it didn't do much, but we saw a jab.
Pineda wants that
Oh,
look.
those kicks are doing damage.
Yeah, really heavy.
Probably setting up a right bomb. See, there's the
Let's already
1-2, but
switch
he stayed in
stances.
front. Sorry?
I said, let's already switch stances from that low kick.
Yeah. And he's
Just two
watch
of
how when he switches, he's kind of squaring up. That's the problem with people who switch a lot of stances. That's how Glover knocked out Rashad Evans. He kept trying to switch stances, then Glover just timed him coming in and threw overhand left hook.
that low kick is in the money in the bank right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's all right, I'm a second behind you.
I'll let you commentate and I'll ask questions.
No, it's totally fine. I could rebound. I could react. It's cool.
I'll try not to react too heavily.
Oh, there's a half jab by Lutz. All right, we've seen some improvement. That's what I'm talking about. You see how he shoots? You see how Pineda shot, but he just shot. He didn't throw anything before it.
Right.
That's why he
No,
couldn't finish that takedown. Actually, to get that much penetration, it means you had some force behind it. So that's why you got to throw something to get your opponent up so he doesn't react so fast. It was a really nice level change too. All that hard work to be thrust up against the fence. Last thing you want to do is all the hard work for your opponent scoring. See that? Now that's a winning situation for Lutz because it was a defended takedown to some punches thrown. Nice.
couple of good
Should have
knees.
shot underneath that. Pineda keeping the center.
Yeah, now Lutz won't enter range with except for southpaw. He's scared of that lead
Yeah.
leg. Oh, that's why. Every time he switches to it, he makes him pay for it.
Mm-hmm. See, if you're not going to jab, you at least got to feint. You at least got, or like, wow, yeah, here we go. That's how he's going to win exchanges. After you see there's the counter punching I was talking about. That's how he's going to win those exchanges. Another punch, takedown attempt by Lutz now, where nothing was thrown before.
I was going to say, I mean, he didn't really have much time, but in the last fight, I mean, he didn't put any offensive wrestling out. It was all just defensive.
Lutz looks like he's only half throwing these punches, like he's unsure when he throws it.
I think he's because he's southpaw. He doesn't look
Probably
southpaw.
Yeah, he looks this. Yeah, okay. He's trying to throw a feint to these takedown attempts, but they're really weak. He's not selling the feint. There's a nice combination by Lutz. Another leg kick. I think you're right, Joe. I think that those leg kicks are paying dividends because he's starting to get really ginger on it.
Yeah, and it's helping him open the hands up too.
Yep. If you watch, Pineda's really throwing after everything, like just counter punching, like I said, and that's how he's scoring. Why not, right? Round 1 for Pineda, I have.
Yeah, I think he was doing more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Controlled it. Close one. Wouldn't fault
Close.
Anyone, but
I would give the head strike damage a tie, but then when you bring it down to the legs, there's more damage done there by Pineda than it was by, and it clearly affected his body, Lutz's body language. That's why he kept switching. So yeah, you got to go with Lutz in that round, and he had the takedown, but as we learned with MMA scoring, that's nullified because he did nothing with it. So it's a non-scoring factor for this situation, this round.
Yeah, he got right back up pretty quick.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how the leg kicks kind of impact the fight as it goes longer because
yeah,
it definitely it did not look like that was his original game plan to be spending so much time in southpaw.
No.
Fortunately, I've never taken a leg kick. But
they could really suck if you don't know.
Yeah.
I used to train with Thiago Alves in his prime, let me tell you.
Yeah. All right, round 2.
Round 2, let's do it.
Shout out to Herzog for not stopping that first fight, by the way.
Yeah. Nice right hook. Yeah, Lutz needs to keep it straight because even that's not a true straight right hand. He needs to keep it straight. Oh, that was Pineda, but Lutz needs to keep it straight to keep the loopy puncher at the end. Make him shoot from far away again.
I mean, look
Nice lateral movement by Lutz to keep the center. If Pineda just keeps ending the exchanges, he's going to win the fight.
Well, he's never won a fight without ending it. So
This is true. And people really need to learn how to do single legs.
I don't get the guillotine either, man. I've been seeing too many guys go for the guillotine these days. I was like, this isn't 2002 anymore.
I mean,
You
can
got to
hit
rock
it.
the guy. You got to rock the guy to get the guillotine.
You're not going to hit it there. You're not going to hit it there. Like, it's just guillotines are so tough to set up. Like, it's like, yeah, like you can't really go for it. He's kind of forfeiting position now, Lutz.
I say that, but John Jones just did it.
Oh, elbows down. Yeah, see, he forfeited position. He hung his head. That's why he put himself in this position. And he just put himself deeper into it by coming up. Oh man, exciting fight. Yeah, guillotines they could happen. Just you got to set them up like anything else.
Got him out.
Oh, Lutz recovered a full guard. That's actually pretty impressive. Now here he's got to get his feet on the hips and create some space and get out. I don't think he's going to win this fight off his back. Yeah, you got a great space there. Yeah, there. You see how he kind of rushed to go to his backhand fence, which is the right move, but he's going to keep getting sucked back if he can't get those feet on the hips to get Pineda away from him, create some space in that aspect, or at least get his head out of position.
Oh, guillotine again.
He just gave it to him with that single leg. That was a poor single leg attempt.
Tap.
He tapped. Yep. Yeah, he just kind of got unraveled there.
Well,
is what happened.
Holds true. Pineda's going to win. He's going to get the finish. Yeah. Nice call on that one, Quinn.
I did say that this fight would end by finish. That one I was sure of. See, look how he goes here. He goes for the same. He gets his head out, but then he stays right there. You can't do that. If you're going for that single leg, you got to be at least on one knee. Yeah, he was basically just sitting on his butt. Like he might have just been desperate and tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked pretty lazy or labored. Maybe is a better word. I don't want to be disrespectful.
But at that point, you gotta work your way out. But anyway, that's what we got, guys. Joe, I'll text you throughout the fights. I'm gonna go watch the main event inside.
Thanks for having me, Quinn.
Talk to you.
See you soon.